Oh, hi there, it's nice to see you. Let's read Princess Disgrace Turn My Tall Towers. You're very exciting to read the next part of You're Turning into a Mermaid. Chapter 20 A Prisoner in the Pool. I can't move, gasped Scarlet. I don't understand what's happening. It is clear that you have mermaid blood in you, said the queen gently. Some of your ancestors must have been merfolk. Now he wants you to return to the water. But I don't want to be a mermaid, said Scarlet, looking really frightened now. My home is on the land, with my family and my friends. She looked at Grace and Izumi. How do we stop this? Cried Grace, wishing she could just splash into the returning pool and carry Scarlet out. But the strange silvery light flickering on the surface told her that it was hopeless. The sea had controlled Scarlet now. By stepping into the pool, Scarlet acted freely and with love, said the queen. She returned to the water like her mermaid ancestors and freed me from being sent to the land, said Waverly, her tail shimmering. I would have stopped her if I know what she's going to do. I don't think you could have stopped me, said Scarlet. A small, sad smile. The sea was calling to me so loudly, it was the only voice I could hear. But you're not a mermaid yet, said Grace. She could still see the shape of her friend's long pale legs in the water. Do something, she pleaded to the queen. Surely there's still time to stop the change from happening. I am afraid there's nothing I can do, said the queen. Just as I could not save Waverly, I cannot help Scarlet either. It is you who has the power, Grace. Me? Grace blinked. In changing place with Waverly, Scarlet had paid your debt to the sea, said the queen. It is you who have saved from the water in the first place. Of course. Grace felt tears prick her eyes. This terrible mess was all her fault. You must think clearly and act fast, said the queen. Anything, just tell me what to do. Grace threw her shoulders back, instantly ready to help. I'll even become a mermaid if I must. She stepped forward towards the pool. The queen held up her hands. You are very brave, she smiled kindly. But as far as I know, you do not have a mermaid blood. No, Grace let her shoulders crumple. The sea will not want me. But what can I do? How can I save Scarlet? With a gift, of course, said the queen. There's still time. Find something of great value and offer that to take Scarlet's place. Oh, Grace, said Scarlet, I want to go home. I want to go back to Tall Towers. I'll find something, said Grace, but she felt as she was trapped on a hopeless merry-go-round. First she had been asked to save Waverly, and now Scarlet. But the only gift she had was the diamonds, and the sea did not want them. The queen clicked her fingers and beckoned to the mermaid with despair. Swim to shore, she ordered him. Raise the alarm. Tell Lady Dulac everything that happened here tonight. I know she will help her princesses in any way that she can. Yes, your majesty. The merman dived under the archway that led back to the sea. You must go too, said the queen, turning briskly to Grace and Izumi. Scarlet will be safe with us. Trust yourself, Grace. Find a gift that is of the sea, bring it back and set Scarlet free. But how long do I have to find something? Said Grace, looking towards the pool. Scarlet seemed to have sunk lower in the water. The moon will be full for just one more night, said the queen, glancing up through the open roof of the sky above. To save Scarlet, you must return here with your gift by midnight tomorrow. Chapter 21 Stories from the Past. It was dawn as Grace and Izumi rowed their dolphins to the shores of Carnet Island. As they neared the beach, they could see Lady Dulac at the edge of the waves, taking to the merman with the spear. He would have explained everything, said Oceana, swimming beside them. Thank goodness you are safe, young majesties, cried the headmistress as they patted the dolphin and splashed into the water towards her. Thank you. Thank you for bringing him home safely, Oceana. Lady Dulac spoke quickly to the mermaid teacher, and led Grace and Izumi all the way up to the little white bedroom at the top of the Dormitory Tower. You have not slept all night. You must rest for a while, she insisted, or you will be no help to Scarlet at all. But Grace tried to object. There's so little time, just a single day before darkness fell again, the one last night of the full moon. I have sent for Scarlett's parents, said Lady Juliet. They will arrive here in a few hours. When they arrive, we'll decide exactly what to do. No arguments, said Flintheart, who was waiting in the sky dorm, spacing up and down like an angry crow. Fairy Godmother Palm appeared with cups of steaming hot chocolate. She tucked the girl into bed as they explained everything that happened. This is all my fault, said Grace. I should have asked for your help the first time I saw Scarlet heading down to the beach. It was a very dangerous thing to do, said Flintheart, and Grace knew, for once, that her strict form teacher was right. Lady Juliet sat on a little chair beside Grace's bed. Grace couldn't help wishing she had tidied away the dirty socks and the wrinkled cardigan that were hanging from the back. I am glad you understand the danger you have put yourself in, said Lady Juliet, but I should have foreseen that something like this might happen. You? Said Grace. How? I was aware of Scarlett's family history, said Lady Juliet. I knew that she had mermaid blood. You knew? Grace was shocked. I don't think even Scarlett knew before tonight. Or her parents, said Izumi. Surely they would have told her if they did. It was kept secret, said Lady Juliet, to protect the family name. Why would they care? Asked Grace. But even as she spoke, she remembered how rude preachers had been about the merfolk. Prejudice has mostly changed now, said Lady Juliet, but once upon a time there was a lot of prejudice. And you'd be surprised, sighed Fairy Godmother Palm. There's still some foolish folk who think poor royal blood is more important than how well you rule your kingdom. We don't stand for any of that sort of nonsense in school, said Swinehurt. It is how a princess behaves, not how her ancestors are, that matters. Grace smiled. She'd been so afraid of Fairy Godmother Flint. For the first time, she realized that the form teacher has a good heart. Sorry, Lady Dulac, said Izumi, blushing. I don't understand. I mean, if Scarlet's history is such a secret, then, well, how do you know about it? As the headmistress of Tall Towers, you will be surprised with the thing I know, smiled Lady Juliet. Royal families have been sending their daughter to this school for hundreds of years. There are whole rooms in the headmistress tower built high with files and boxes, some dating back to the very beginning of this academy. There are letters, school magazines, class lists, enrollment scrolls. Every piece of parchment in those rooms tells a story. Often there are things that people do not speak of. The wall of Tall Towers could tell many tales, agreed Fairy Godmother Palm. And Scarlet's secret goes back generations, continued Lady Juliet. Her parents may not know about the mermaid blood, not even her grandparents, but there's an old story about from 100 years ago. I think I've heard of it. Grace sat up in bed so fast she spilled hot chocolate down the front of her nightdress. Waverly told me. Was that Scarlet's relation? The one who was a mermaid? Lady Juliet nodded. Grace gasped and grabbed Izumi's arm. Many years ago, a mermaid fell in love with a handsome young king, she said. She had his baby, but she couldn't join him on the land. She couldn't bear to leave the water, so she raised her little daughter by herself. With the mermaid bowl in the sea. That means the baby must have been half human, half mermaid, said Fairy Godmother Palm. But what happened to her? Said Izumi. I don't know. Grace turned back towards the headmistress. I asked Waverly, but she said the same thing as you, Lady Juliet. She said it's something that the merfolk did not speak of. Her name was Turquoise, said Lady Juliet. Her mother died when she was still quite young, remembered Grace. That's right, Lady Juliet laid her hand gently on Grace's shoulder. I know you will understand how that feels, she said. Turquoise didn't want to stay in the sea once her mother was gone. She swam near the shore every day hoping to hear news of her father. One evening, she was close to Current Island when a young princess from Tall Tower was washed into the sea. She would have drowned if Turquoise had not saved her. Turquoise broke the mermaid code, gasped Grace. If she rescued the princess, she would have been banished from the sea, just like when Waverly saved me. But remember, Turquoise felt a longing from the land, said Lady Juliet. She wanted to find her father, the king, so to become human and left the sea forever, said Grace. By breaking the mermaid code, she set herself free from the water. Exactly, said Lady Juliet. And she soon found her father. She was king of a small island on the southern ocean. which means that she was a Princess Turquoise, of course. For the start of summer term, she would people here at Toll Towers, just as she has wished. You can see her name on all the scrolls and class lists from that time. What a wonderful story, sighed Fairy Godmother Palm. I hope she became friends with Princess Skewed. The very best of friends, smiled Lady Julac. And what's the name of the Princess Turquoise saved? Asked Grace. Ah, I was wondering when you would ask me that, smiled Lady Julac, reaching into the pocket of the robe. Perhaps you ought to have looked at this. She handed Grace a big gold coin pinned to a faded blue ribbon. It looks like an old medal, said Grace, turning the coin over in her hand. Read the inscription, prompted Lady Julac. The letters carved from the old medal were so curly it took Grace a moment or two to decipher that they said. But as soon as she made the words out, her eyes grew wide. This is the medal, and I'll read it to you. Our newest pupil, Princess Turquoise, is here awarded. This medal is recognized her great bravery in saving her friend Princess Joy from drowning in the sea. Oh, what a hard reading! Joy? But that was my great grandmother, Dame, said Grace. Does that mean yes? Lady Julac smiled. Gosh! So Scarlet great grandmother saved my great grandmother's lives. Grace grinned. And they become best friends. Imagine that. It's amazing, said Izumi. But like a birthday candle being blown out, smile faded on Grace's lips. And now I have ruined everything, she sighed. All these years later, because of me and my clumsiness, Scarlet has been taken back by the sea. She will have to stay there for the rest of her lives. That's enough now. You need to take rest, said Fairy Godmother Palm, taking Grace's empty hot chocolate. She tucked Izumi in too. Scarlet parents are on their way. There's nothing we can do until they arrive, said Flynn firmly. We are all going to do everything we can, said Julac, but that's just for it, whispered Grace the moment the teacher shut the door and hurried away downstairs. There's nothing anyone else can do. The only person who can save Scarlet is me. Chapter 22, Locket. Grace leaped out of bed and began to pace round and round in tiny dormitory. The sea had taken Scarlet to pay my debts, she said as Izumi sat up. That her parents won't be able to help no matter how many jewels they bring with them. You're right, the gift must be from you, agreed Izumi, and it must be something that comes from the sea. Otherwise, the returning pool would just toss it back. That's diamonds, sighed Grace, looking at the beautiful necklace lying on her bedside table. She still finds it hard to believe that it's not enough to please the sea. Now she needed something even better, something that could stop poor Scarlet turning into a mermaid like her great-grandmother Princess Turquoise had once been. Look! Grace picked up the little silver locket Scarlet had laid carefully on her own beside table where it had gone down to the sea. I wish she had this with her. It might bring her luck, or at least make her feel better. The both girls fell silent, thinking of their gentle friend and how frightened she must be. This is all my stupid fault, said Grace crossly. She ran the silver chain over locket through her fingers and began to fiddle the catch. Careful, go on, Izumi, but it was too late. Wah! The locket slipped from Grace's hands and fell into the floor with a terrible clattering sound. It round, the silver catch which had been stuck out for so long sprang big over. Ping! It's open, gasped Grace, scrambling for the locket. There's something inside. Izumi jumped out of bed and stared over Grace's shoulder. There were two tiny portraits inside the locket. It was a young girl wearing a Toll Towers uniform long ago. Look at these girls, and I guess you know who they are. White, Turquoise, and Joy. Really. That's one the spitting emoji of Scarlet, said Grace, pointing to the tiny picture in the right-hand side of the frame. She showed a smiling princess with long white hair. And that one looks just like you, laughed Izumi, pointing to the left-hand side where a wild hair princess with freckles went out of them. Turquoise and Joy, said Grace and Izumi at exactly the same time. The princess in the picture was still smiling brightly, as if it had been painted yesterday. This must be a friendship locket, said Izumi. Grace was staring closely at the tiny portraits. Look, she said. My great grandmother Joyce is wearing the pearls, the same one as Princess has now. So she is, said Izumi. But Grace was already charging downstairs. I've got it! I know how I can save Scarlet, she cried. Chapter 23, Precious Pearls. Precious, are you here? We skidded through the door to Treasure Arm and laid it in a heap on the floor, but there was no sign for her cousin. Why do you want to find Precious? Asked Izumi, hurrying into the posh gold curtain dormitory beside her. She's not going to help Scarlet, is she? She has to, said Grace. Don't you see? The pearls are the perfect gift. They don't belong to me, but they do belong to my family, and they are of the sea. Of course, said Izumi. Pearls come from water. They found in oyster shells. Grace glanced at the tiny gold clock on her cousin's golden dressing table. It was 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Breakfast is over, she said. Precious could be anywhere on the island by now. It was strange to think that our princesses would be all enjoying their free day. We have no idea what happened to Scarlet. Isn't this where the pearls are kept? Said Izumi, lifting a shell-shaped box from beside the clock. I think so, but they won't be in there, said Grace. Princess never takes them off. She opened the lid, but just as she had expected, the shell-shaped box was empty. Look at that, said Izumi, pointing to an inscription inside the lid. To Princess Joy, a gift on the sea. Happy birthday from your very best friend, Princess Turquoise. Gosh, so that's how the pearls came to my family, said Grace. Scarlet Grace's grandmother Turquoise gave them to my great-grandmother Joy. And they must be mermaid pearls, said Izumi. And the perfect gift to save Scarlet, sighed Grace. If only I could persuade Precious to give them away. Give what away? Asked Precious, breaking through the door. What are you doing in here, Grace? You two like just scold us all assembly, explaining what terrible danger they'll put poor Scarlet in. That's not what she said at all, Precious. Tut Violetta, coming to the dormitory behind her. But she did tell us everything that had happened. I hope Scarlet's all right. I wish there was something I could do to help. Precious is the only one who can help us now, said Grace, smiling importantly at her cousin. You see, your pearls are the perfect gift to give to the sea. I know they could set Scarlet free. No way, spat Precious. You're not having them. Your great-grandmother Joy's pearls were a birthday present from Scarlet's great-grandmother. Her name was Turquoise, Izumi explained. They were best friends. She picked up the shell-shaped box from Precious' dressing table and read the inscription aloud. So what? Precious didn't even look surprised. Grace's mouth dropped open. You knew of that already, she said. You must have read that message hundreds of times. Maybe, struck Precious. But how was I supposed to know how Turquoise was? That's true, I suppose, murmured Grace. But Violetta stepped forward. You may not have known that Turquoise was Scarlet's great-grandmother until this morning, Precious, she said. But I saw your face as soon as Lady Juliet mentioned her name in assembly. You looked furious. Really furious, agreed Latisha. Most of the first you had now gathered in the doorway to hear what's going on. I saw it too. You must have guessed that giving away the pearls was the right thing to do, said Izumi. Well, I'm not doing it, said Precious, stamping her foot. Not for anyone. Not even to save Scarlet? Begged Grace, shocked that Precious didn't seem to care about anything except keeping the necklace herself. Why should I want to help Scarlet? Sneered Precious. But everyone thinks you're so beautiful and perfect. She may be the best dancer in the class, but now she knows she's not even a proper princess. She's perfect, for goodness sake. A gasp of horror rose up from the first-year princesses. Even the twins looked shocked. What a terrible thing to say, cried Violetta. You take that back, Precious, said Grace. Why should I? Sneered Precious. You got Scarlet into this mess. You should get her out of it. But I can't, said Grace. Not without a gift. It needs to be something of the sea. That belongs to me and was freely given. Well, the pearls don't belong to you, do they? Said Precious. They belong to me, so there. But Grace doesn't want them for herself, said Violetta. Can't you see that? The pearls belong to our family, said Grace. The sea might accept them. Joy was my great-grandmother too. You've already got the diamonds, snapped Precious. You're not getting your grubby little paws in the pearls too. I'm not so sure about that, cried Grace. She flew out the door and thundered up the stairs again. I have something that might just change your mind. Isn't this a trick? Princess stared at her mouth, raised her mouth wide open. You're going to give me the diamonds to keep or forever. She whooped and spun around the room in parody. Yes, said Grace, if you'll swap them for the pearls. Oh, the arguments the girl are having. Deal! Without even glancing at the pearls, Precious unclipped them from the neck and tossed them towards Grace. Why would I keep those plain old things when I have sparkling diamonds instead? Here you are, then. Grace handed over the diamonds. I hope they'll make you happy, Precious, she said, and she turned and walked out the room as quickly as she could. That must be so hard for you, said Eve to me when they were alone in the dormitory again, especially as the diamonds go from your mom. They're far too grand for me, smiled Grace. Mom wouldn't mind. Not if it means I could save Scarlet. She picked up the faded label which had been tied to the diamonds when she first unwrapped them for the birthday. Giving was a far greater gift than receiving, she read. I know what Mama meant. Chapter 24. Return to Memory Rock. As night fell, Grace and Izumi waited on the beach with Lady Tulloch and Fairy Godmother Flint. Scarlet's parents weren't there. Her mother has the same sea-green eyes as Scarlet, flashing bright with worry as she stared out at the sea. Her father paced up and down the sand, almost coloring with Grace, who was pacing too. Look! Grace cried as Waverly's head bobbed above the waves at last, and she swam to the shore to meet them. The young mermaid seemed fully recovered, her sparkling silver tail shimmering in the light of the full moon. I wanted to be the one to take you back to Mermaid Rock, she said. I left Scarlet with the Queen in the Oceana. She's being very brave. But how will we call Dolphin? Said Grace, ready to get going. Scarlet sang for them last time. Shall I try? Said Scarlet's mother. She stepped forward and sang in the same strange, beautiful voice that Scarlet had used. Almost at once, two dolphins swam out to the shore, bringing Scarlet back safely. Said her mother, biting her lip just as her daughter always did. I will promise, said Grace. Thank you. Scarlet's father bowed to Grace and Izumi in turn. We will wait here on the beach for you, said Lady Tulloch. It had already been agreed that the solemn ceremony would be the best of the two girls visited the mermaids alone. Have you got the pearls? Izumi checked as they clambered onto slippery dolphins. Of course, smiled Grace, even I am not hopeless. She touched the necklace with it clipped tightly around her neck. I just hope this worked. She knew the pearl came from the sea, but the gift was all supposed to be something that was given freely and with love. Princess to be forced to give her the pearl. She called to Izumi as they followed Waverly rode the unicorn side by side across the waves. And she doesn't feel any love for me or for Scarlet, that's for sure. But she does love those shiny diamonds, hollered Izumi. She gave those pearls quite freely as soon as she saw those. You're right, Grace smiled. She felt a fresh surge of hope and hugged her dolphin so tightly that leapt out of water in surprise. Scarlet was still standing in the middle of the pool when the girls reached the grotto. Her face lit up as she saw Grace and Izumi. I know you come, she cried. The ring of silver light around her was so bright that Grace could not see her legs anymore. You must be quick, said the Queen. Grace unclipped her pearls around her neck and stepped into the edge of the returning pool. Wait, you'll need this, said Oceana, handing Grace the scroll to read from. But Grace shook her head. She remembered the words perfectly. I give thanks, kind mermaid, for saving me. She glanced over her shoulder and smiled at Waverly, and offered this gift to repay the sea. Living freely with love, this treasure once mine, shall return to the sea to the end of time. Then take great care. Grace slipped the pearls gently into the water. The faint ripple stirred in the surface. Can you move yet? Asked Grace, but Scarlet shook her head. Grace stared at the water, holding her breath. Barely nothing happened. Oh dear, Scarlet and Izumi and nothing happened. This is hopeless, she groaned. But slowly, very slowly, the silver light began to fade. The water was turning blue and clear once more. Scarlet stumbled forward. She's free! Cheered Grace. Quick! Cried the Queen, motioning to Grace and Izumi. Run into the water and save her. We cannot help, or it will break the mermaid code again. But Scarlet is far too weak to save to safety. She's no longer have her mermaid powers now. Grace and Izumi splashed into the pool without waiting to be asked twice. They grabbed Scarlett's arm and pulled her to safety. She lay on the polished floor between them and rolled her eyes in the bowl. Her long legs pulled underneath her chin. "Thank you," she smiled. Suddenly, the water of the returning pool began to swirl and turn again. "Oh goodness, it's not going to throw the pirates out, isn't it?" asked Grace. "I don't think so," said Waverly. But the fountain rose in the middle of the water, and Grace of the pearl necklace flung to the air as the diamonds had been. "But the pearls of the sea!" she cried. "What does the water want to keep them?" "Watch," said the Mermaid Queen as Grace saw the string break from the pearls and each white bead drop back into the water. Peering down, she saw the pearls had formed a bright mosaic on the bottom of the pool. "How beautiful," said Izumi. Grace helped Scarlet to her feet, and they all stared down a shimmering design, a perfect full moon made of pearls. "It's over!" Waverly dived into the water and leaped up as high as a dolphin. "Thank you," she cheered. The Queen and all the mermaids clapped. Izumi, Scarlet, and Grace all hugged each other. Grace was glad her cheek was still wet with salty water from the pool, so that nobody could see she was crying. God to help Izumi. She had saved a young mermaid and her best friend too. Chapter 25. The Necklace for Grace. After Scarlet's parents had gone home, she had already spent a whole week in bed to make sure that she was fully recovered. Fairy Godmother pumping a dreadful fuss of her, and Grace and Izumi spent all their free time in the dorm in Yarny. The other princesses in the class visited often too. They were regular cards for Scarlet and brought her treats and books. Violetta even gave her a beautiful gold music box with a silver spinning ballerina inside so that she could wind it up and listen to the tune. A shy princess got embarrassed by all the attention. "I just wish I could get back to normal," she told Grace and Izumi. "I want to ride Bella along to beach or a picnic. I even want to have a go at swimming lessons now. I'm not afraid of water anymore. Not now I know I have a mermaid blood." "Waverly is going to start a swingatory swimming team," said Grace. "She plans to organize a water day display for the summer open day at the end of term. She wants you to be the captain." "Me?" Scarlet blushed. Scarlet swimming is a bit like a ballet in the water. "Yes, Izumi, you'll be brilliant." "I don't think Waverly is going to want me for the team," laughed Grace. "I always swim left when everybody else was swimming right. But I preferred her to have competition at the show to see who can make the biggest splash when they dive bomb off the rock. I might have a chance of winning that." Scarlet easily giggled. Even though they were Grace's best friends, they had to agree that she'd be much better at dive bombing and taking part in the synchronized swimming routine. "I hope the display goes well for Waverly," said Grace. "It will the last time she'll be teaching at Tall Towers. She's going to start training properly for the Seven Oceans Endurance race after that." "And good riddance for her," said Princess, poking her head around the dormitory door. She finally come to visit, even though it was Scarlet's last day in bed. "I didn't bring you a get well card, as I see you're better already," she said, "but I do want to say thank you." "Thank you?" said Scarlet. "What for?" "Goodbye, your little adventures. I will never get to keep these beautiful diamonds," said Princess, stretching her neck, sticking her nose in the air. "They suit me so much better than Grace." Izumi and Scarlet rolled their eyes. Princess looked ridiculous, strutting around in front of the mirror like a peacock. Grace called out in giggles and Princess finally stopped showing off and flounced out of the room. "It's not fair, Scarlet," she groaned. "Why do you gotta have a distant cousin who's a beautiful mermaid like Waverly, and I get to have cousin Princess instead?" "That must be dreadful to see her parroting about like that," said Scarlet. "Do you miss the diamonds terribly?" "Not really," said Grace truthfully. "Princess is right. They were really far too fancy for me. I'll be frightened to wear them. They sure be flying out when I was galloping Billy along the beach." "But you didn't get to keep the pearls either," said Scarlet, clutching her beloved silver locket, which had been mended and was hanging around her neck once more. "That means you don't have a necklace at all." "I've been thinking about that," said Grace, as she slid across the room a big fluffy yak hair slippers and opened a drawer beside her bed. She ran her fingers gently across the faded birthday note from Mama and smiled to herself, and she remembered the wise words she had shown her that giving the diamonds away was the right thing to do. She found her true worth at last. Then she lifted up a little blue box which was tucked away at the back of the drawer. He took out the hope and show necklace that Tuber's friend had given her and tied a ribbon around her neck. "There," she said with a big grin. "How could I ever ask for something more valuable than that? See? Oh, the girls are having fun." Oh, but that's all I've got to read today. I finished this book, and I'm going to review it tomorrow. Bye! See you tomorrow.